for a low carbon, safe and healthy and land transport system. And the Sustainability Action Plan sets out how we will achieve this by reducing the land transport emissions, helping to improve public health, reducing environmental harm, reducing our own corporate emissions, and reducing emissions associated with material use and waste. So this type of change will take time. So we must start now if we are to meet our 2050 targets. And this Sustainability Action Plan is a long-term significant change program that will be delivered in partnership with many others across the sector. Now, how are we responding? So we have increased our focus on resource efficiency and sustainability for infrastructure and maintenance delivery. Now, sustainability is a must-have on all our projects. All new projects over $100 million are required to achieve an infrastructure sustainability certification. The smaller projects also need to demonstrate sustainability. They have to align with our Waka Kotahi environmental policies, strategies, and standards, including those outlined in our Sustainability Action Plan and our resource efficiency and waste minimization policy. We are also building our relationship with industry and partnering to allow for better delivered outcomes all round. We have increased the monitoring and reporting on our activities as we work to reduce emissions. And in some big projects, we have set target to reduce embodied emissions by 10 to 20% and are working closely with our suppliers to innovate and reduce these emissions. Maintenance is a significant annual cost, but a well-maintained roading network helps not only to improve safety, but to protect the environment, as an efficiently operating network reduces carbon emissions and builds greater resilience into the transport system. Better understanding Maori aspirations for the land transport system and partnering to achieve transport outcomes is really essential. We are constantly looking for new methods and materials. Sometimes this means going back to old ways. Example is timber bridges. Now, I'm going to talk about our operational policy requirements to meet the government requirements, including our Sustainability Action Plan we have developed. And some of these operational policies are currently in development. So ultimately, we will have 3 policies, but they are nested inside of each other. There will be an overarching climate change policy for land transport infrastructure activities. So the key objective is to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions associated with construction, maintenance, operations, and use of land transport. There is another objective to manage the risks that climate-related hazards pose to infrastructure and the risk arising from our infrastructure. And like I just mentioned, this document is still in development. Concentrating on the climate mitigation, reducing emissions part, what we are interested in, is how we reduce emissions from the construction and maintenance and operations phases. The emissions reduction plan will have a big influence on the type of infrastructure we deliver. That is, we need to deliver it efficiently and reduce the carbon intensity, which will help us to meet any targets that may be set under the carbon neutral government program. The 2 other policies that we already have in place that help with delivering or directing this are the resource efficiency policy and the sustainability rating scheme policy. So applying and implementing these gives effect to that part of the climate change policy. Both of these are aimed at considering wider resource use and sustainability. Now, this is the resource efficiency policy strategy. we are looking at the key challenges we have in our land transport system, such as the consumption of large quantities of virgin materials, the shortage of premium aggregate materials, the low levels of recycling, large production of waste materials from construction and demolition going to landfill, cleanfill, significant carbon footprint and energy use. And these are some of the challenges that we are facing. And we have focused on three areas. One is sustainable sourcing and use of resources. And we want to make sure how we resource the materials. And the second one is minimizing waste. And the third one, reduced energy and carbon, which is really key in the Sustainability Action Plan. So some of the key actions we are currently taking is a facilitation at a national conversation on resource efficiency for the wider infrastructure sector. And the second one is a support to increase uptake of recycled and alternative materials while optimizing our use of virgin resources, and empower our suppliers to move to a zero waste to landfill mindset on our projects, and empower contractors to deliver low carbon projects, and initiate and support a behavior change across our organization and the industry, and come up with some incentives and champion innovation. And to make sure we are following what we are putting in these documents, there are annual monitoring and reporting schemes to feed into our action plans. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this resource efficiency policy mandates on new capital projects the resource efficiency during early business case phases and subsequent project stage development. And all capital projects develop a resource efficiency and waste minimization plan, and this will identify the key challenges and how they would be mitigated or minimized. And projects over 12 months will be required to report at the implementation phase, and all capital projects with capital value over 15 million shall also set targets for resource efficiency. And similar policies are in place for maintenance contracts when we set the contracts in the future. So to help the measurements and also implementation, we use sustainability rating schemes developed by the Infrastructure Sustainability Council. And the process includes independent verification and provides guidance outlining best practice and reporting requirements. And targets are normally identified through a weighting assessment, and a base case defines the baseline standard to work from. The key message here that we can stay with what we know, or we can shape and manage our land transport system to better support our climate objectives and provide more options for moving people and freight. And that's the kind of message I want to leave with you. The research and development innovation that you all are carrying out is significant to achieve sustainable actions and meeting our targets for 2050. Thank you so much. And if I have time, I don't mind taking some questions. Thank you.